All right,
Cool,
so
cool.
going out of the big three.
All right,
Well,
now we're in
big
the
two.
third party, I guess.
Yeah, third-party stuff. We're going to kick it off with Mafia 3,
Hell yeah.
which looks
Yeah,
pretty
yeah.
damn good.
Overall, dude, I'm mostly intrigued with the story of this game, and apparently they're actually going to do it it's going to be like a full open world now. You can go around, do what you want, side missions.
Stuff to do.
Yeah, there's stuff to do, and supposedly everything you do actually kind of, it all like helps. It all, everything you do has a meaning, I guess, to what,
Yeah. It all ties back to like you're trying to take over New Bordeaux, which is essentially
New Orleans.
Yeah. And it's like divided up into different mobs, and you're like a Vietnam vet coming back from Vietnam, and to find that the black mob in New Orleans has been wiped out by the Italian mafia.
Yeah,
and
so
you're trying to get revenge, basically.
yeah, well, I guess the black mob gets betrayed by the Italians. They actually screw them over and kill people that are close to Lincoln.
Yeah.
So he's kind of like on a one-man vendetta to take, which is kind of cool because you were always playing as the Italians and the other mafias.
Yeah,
so
now
now
you're
you're going to be
kinda
going
against
around
them.
killing the Italians.
And
so.
there's like, you have allies. Like there's somebody from the Italian mob that's helping you.
I know.
So
well, Vito
Traitors.
Yeah.
Vito from he was the protagonist in the second game. Apparently, he got sidelined from the Italian mob. They didn't want him anymore, so that's why he's pissed off at him.
Yeah.
He's like, "Screw it, I want my piece of the pie." So that's his reason for joining Lincoln. Apparently, I don't know if. I guess there's context for like the three main people you're going to be working with that help you or don't help you, considering. But
for me, the draw is the setting,
yeah, the setting too.
because it's this like 1970s New Orleans.
Yep.
And which is a unique setting in
no-
both time period and like
world.
city that you're going to be in. Is like there'll be like bayou parts and
Yep.
stuff like that. And the soundtrack is going to be so good.
Yeah.
I'm so excited because
That's your jam.
that's my decade of music.
In the gameplay trailer they showed, I don't know if they're going to do this in the real game, but when he was like going through this club to take out his target or whatever, and you're in the middle of a shootout, they were playing like the cool music in the background.
From what I understand, that actually does happen because there was another part where you were going through the swamps, or somebody talked about they were like going stealthy
Yes.
through the swamps, and
Yep.
then like CCR kicked on.
Yeah, okay.
And actually during gameplay.
Yep.
So I think it's if they play that right,
Yeah.
they could really do a good job of setting moods and things like that.
Yeah, because if you think about it, we haven't really had too many games that do this kind of thing, bring us back in time, but not too far back in time.
Yeah.
Like I can only think of like L.A. Noire and Mafia 2, really.
Vice City.
Vice City, which
I
which is the
personally
80s.
like the older games, the ones that bring you back in time.
Yeah, no, I love it, dude.
Yeah.
It
There's
gives,
too
you
many
know-
games nowadays that are pushing towards future this, future
Exactly.
that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
know.
Or we'll talk about it in a little while, but I'm kind of sick of the modern setting too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
modern or yep.
I want to see like a fully realized take on a different time period.
Yep.
And that's what Mafia 3 seems to be.
Yeah, and like you said, it's the late 60s, early 70s, so and that I guess there's actually going to be like a dynamic racism in this. Like we're probably going to hear like a lot like white people or Italians actually like calling, Lincoln the N-word and stuff. And
I think they're
going for like a really like gritty take
they're
on this.
they're
I'm
going
interested to see how that's going to take with
full
portraying that
force into,
racism in it.
Yeah, no, I think it's good to address it because it's a real life thing, and you can't really shy away.
Yeah, as long as they handle it right.
Yeah,
I don't
if
want
you
them to go
handle it with class. you know?
overboard
Yeah.
or pull back enough. Just deal with it in the most realistic way you can.
Yeah, you don't have to be like GTA and just go crazy with it,
Yeah.
or the swearing at every other word, and
Yeah.
No,
That game's coming out soon too.
I'm really
this
hoping
fall.
for like just a good alternative to GTA. That's what we need right now.
Yeah.
Everything I've seen and we've seen, it just looks, so much potential. It's probably not. I don't know if it's going to be game of the year or anything, but it'll definitely be fun for a fall game. So
Speaking of something different than GTA,
yeah,
Watch Dogs 2.
dude, that like I don't know. I don't know
I'm
if this is supposed
confused
to.
about this one. I've been told that it's now the story doesn't seem to fit along with what happened in Watch Dogs 1.
Oh, I don't think
So,
it's not gonna have anything to do with Watch Dogs 1, because Watch Dogs 1, you're one hacker in a city, but I guess. But then again, that whole DedSec corporation, that's
Wasn't
all.
that the bad guy in the first one?
I
like the
think so. Yeah,
and
you
now,
were taking
now
out,
you're working for them.
yeah, you were taking out some DedSec people.
like
in the
you have a
first one.
DedSec hat in the videos.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. Like, I gotta see how they do this. Like, I know, they're gonna do the whole you can meet up with other players and randomly do co-op missions together. I know they're gonna emphasize that. It's cool that it's in San Francisco, but the thing is, it's Ubisoft, so like they don't really do much to make their settings stand out all the time. Because I thought Chicago, the way they did it in the first one, was just bland. Like, there's nothing too special about the open world itself.
Yeah, they didn't make it. They didn't make it Chicago. They just made it another open
Just
world
another
city.
city.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about they tried to tailor it to make the city your tool. You could do anything with it. Like as far as his hacking goes, and it looks like they're adding more. As you saw in the gameplay demo, he had his little drone thing
Yep.
that can go over and once you hack into a camera, you look to another camera, you hack in that. So there's definitely some cool elements. I just hope they find a way to bring it all together. But story is important for these kind of games. So like Red said, like I don't think you would need to have played the first game to
no,
Yeah.
know what's going on with this one.
exactly.
So one of the problems I had with the little bit I played of the first Watch Dogs was like the way that the hacking just basically boiled down to pressing
A button.
And
Yep.
I think they missed a big opportunity there by putting in like tiny little mini games.
Yeah.
Like where you were going up and you were hacking, like even in the world, like
Well,
the action just paused for a second
Yeah.
and you had to connect some dots.
Well, there were certain parts with harder hacks when you actually were breaking into buildings or doors where it would give you this like puzzle. You had to like match all the lines up together and
yeah.
stuff.
Was it always the same thing though?
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. Like it would get harder as you went, but it was never like so complex that you'd get stuck on it.
Yeah, it's just
So-
like if you're going to spend so much time focusing on this hacking thing, come up
Yeah.
with a bunch of cool mini games to make it seem like you're actually hacking instead
Yeah.
of just pressing a button.
And,
Yeah.
and Watch Dogs kind of suffered from the Ubisoft syndrome of they gave you a lot of shit to do in the world side mission wise, but there was only like 5 different variations of side missions.
Yeah.
So I know that's what makes me, I don't know. I'm excited, but I'm not gonna get like my hopes too high about it either.
Yeah.
Like, because I thought the first one, everyone always thinks back to when there was Assassin's Creed, which showed so much potential, and then Assassin's Creed 2 capitalized on that big time.
Yeah, that's what I keep hearing.
So people are hoping that Watch Dogs 2 can be the Assassin's Creed 2,
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, like they're taking a risk kind of with the main character and the setting and how they're going to go about it. But
Yeah,
I just hope it's relatable, and the gameplay itself is actually fun. It looks like because Aiden in the first game, he couldn't really do parkour. You actually had to figure out how to get up places and stuff.
Yeah, that was one of the cooler things was like the mocap that they did for
Yeah.
I forgot his name.
Are you thinking of his name? I know.
Yeah.
I know it starts with a Marcus.
I think it's Marcus.
Yeah, something.
Marcus Holloway.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Marcus.
Yeah. So the mocap they did for him, like the actual real parkour, like flipping over things and things like that, that looked really cool. And I was really excited when they had that reveal.
Yeah.
Like I was like, oh man, they're doing something interesting. Like,
Yeah.
They're doing an interesting character. They're doing an interesting setting.
Yep.
And then I just saw that gameplay at the press conference, and it just all kind of clicked. That I was like, oh man, this doesn't really seem.
Well, it's still you realize it's still gonna be Watch Dogs.
Yeah,
Like,
it's still 2 GTA in its setting and in the look and everything
Yeah.
like that. Like I'm sick of those modern day open worlds. And then like you're supposed to be this hacktivist kind of guy, like supposedly on the good side,
Yeah.
and then you're just like stealing people's cars
And their money.
and stealing money from them out of their bank accounts.
Which is what you did in the first game to basically get your money.
Yeah, but and then as bad of a rap as Aiden Pierce had for
Yeah.
being a nothing character,
He was a vigilante, though.
yeah,
Like,
he didn't seem like he seemed like he would
He
be
did it-
he'd
he-
be the guy that could like
Yeah.
be consumed so much with vengeance
Yeah.
that he would do these things just to get to the end, just
I
to
agree.
get his
I
revenge.
agree. No, because
And this-
Aiden wasn't technically a good guy. He was
Yeah.
just trying. He had a hacking ability, and actually, he was robbing a bank when he first got caught and put him into the situation he
Yeah.
was in. So he wasn't. He had shades of gray to him. I think Aiden actually got a little too much flack for certain things.
And
Yes, he was boring, but
They had this opportunity with this character to make him
yeah,
a little bit more compassionate, a
Yeah.
little bit more like a normal guy.
Well,
And-
hopefully I mean, we still have a chance to see. I mean, they kind of like just showed us more or less a side mission, I guess.
Yeah,
Maybe
but
that was the main mission.
It was really just like
But
the
I know what
fact
you're
that you're
talking
just
about.
hacking a car and
Yeah,
stealing it.
is that
like-
really what got to you? The hack? Because
Yeah, it did. It
Hey-
was like it just seemed like
you can be a douchebag if you want, I guess, is what you're saying. He's supposed
Right,
to.
well,
He's
I don't know,
supposed to be a good guy. But
what's the alternate? Do you run to your next objective, or do you
Well-
sit at a bus stop and wait for public transportation to pick you up?
well, in the first game, you actually had
You could call. You could
Yeah,
call your buddy to give you a video
there was a way to
or a car.
get your
you
car.
know?
Yeah,
Okay.
there was an option in Aiden's cell phone. Your buddy there, he would bring you a car if you
Where do you
called
get
him.
that car?
He just had him. I don't know.
Yeah, he was supplied.
Dude, literally, the
to
car
him.
would just appear. He wouldn't even
Yeah.
drive it
Yeah.
to you.
And I guess so. There's an alternative.
There's
an
ways to
alternate,
do
but
it.
That's what they showed.
I don't think like the only way you can get a car is by stealing them and stuff. It's just, I
Yeah.
mean, it's in like you said, it's still in that GTA style.
And I
so
think they're taking the hacking culture a little too seriously.
yeah,
And they could have gone a little bit more and like not making fun of it,
Yeah.
but being a little bit more lighthearted with it. I think they're like saying we're hackers and we're hard, and this is whatever.
yeah.
But
No, I mean,
I don't know.
like I said, the way this game opens and the context of everything is going to determine a lot of how I feel about it.
Yeah.
Like, from what we've seen, it just shows like, yeah, this is definitely a sequel. It's nothing revolutionary, but I'm hoping for the best.
Yeah.
We'll see, man.
For better or worse, it's coming out real soon.
Yeah,
They announced it kind of like they pulled the Fallout
yeah,
for
like
and
right
announced
before.
it like 6 months before release date or something like that. So
I
we
mean, this
won't
is-
have to wait long for it.
This is basically in
So maybe
Assassin's Creed spot this year. So
maybe they learned their lesson by not announcing it 3 years
Yeah.
before it came out.
yeah, I mean, they didn't show us this fake trailer this time. We got the real gameplay.
Yeah.
We know what it's probably really gonna look like. So
Yeah,
we'll see.
We'll see how that goes. So sticking with Ubisoft, we're gonna talk about For Honor, which I was really impressed with.
Yep.
The gameplay they showed about on that. So this is like they've been showing this for a while now. It's like this trifecta kind of thing where you can play as a samurai, a Viking or a knight.
Yep.
And the way they described it is like the samurai is like the tactical precision approach.
Yep.
The Viking is like the opposite. You're just like running in and hoping you're getting the kill.
Like a Viking
And then
should.
the knight is kind of like the mix of them, where
Yeah.
it's like a little bit more
strategically,
honorable
hopefully
approach
get
to
a
it or
kill.
something like that.
Honor, yeah. For honor. Yeah.
And what for one, it looks great. Like the visuals look pretty impressive, but what struck me was the combat.
Mhm.
So it's kind of like got a little bit of a Dynasty Warriors vibe, where there's a bunch of like NPCs that you can take out really easily.
Yep.
But then you come across these captains or lieutenants or things like that are a little bit more challenging.
Yep.
And you actually have like a one-on-one duel with them. And the combat, as it was described, has stances. So you'll have like a left stance, a right stance, a high stance,
Yep.
low, mid, and stuff like that. And you have to learn and so will your opponent.
Yeah.
And you'll have to learn the counter to those. So like if somebody's in a right-hand stance, maybe a high stance
Yeah.
is
You got to
is the
know how
counter.
to counter it, or like
Yeah.
get in the stance to counter it.
And it showed visually to you, so you don't have to like guess
Oh,
based on
okay.
where they're holding their sword, which
Yeah.
stance they're in. It does show it, and you'll be able to switch between those stances. And then it's like a 2 or 3 hit
Yeah.
fight. Like
Okay.
you can deflect and stuff like that, but if you actually get hit, you're gonna be in trouble.
So it's
because-
not like this long, drawn out, unrealistic.
Yeah, they don't
thing.
have like a
Yeah.
health bar,
Yeah, yeah.
and you have to whittle them down or anything like that.
'Cause you got to imagine in fights like these back in the day, like dudes were down probably after one good stab.
Yeah.
You know. So
So that was really interesting to me. And
Now,
there
what-
is a multiplayer aspect to
I was
that
about to
where
ask, was this all single player stuff they were
this,
showing?
this part that they
Okay.
showed was single player.
So there is like a story mode to it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It was
Alright,
like I don't know what it really amounts to. If it's just like big giant invasion set
Yeah.
piece after big giant invasion set piece, but there will be a multiplayer aspect where I think it's a similar kind of situation.
Yeah.
And then you'll come across real people as opposed to AI.
Yep.
But I was just like, they had shown some last year.
Yeah, and it seemed,
looked interesting.
Yeah. Last year, it seemed like there were more about the multiplayer
Yeah.
side. That's why I was surprised when you were like speaking so highly about the single player stuff.
Yeah,
so
they
that's
didn't
cool.
really. They showed it and it was interesting, but I wasn't. I had so many questions.
Yeah.
And then this just kind of answered all of them in this one gameplay demo, and I just think it looks exciting.
Yeah.
Like something different. Like the combat looked a little Dark Soulsy.
Yeah.
Like a little. It's a little bit more tactical.
Yeah.
And
I wanted to play last year.
yeah, it would have been nice. I think it's coming out next year. We're still gonna have to wait quite a while for it to come
Dang.
out. But
Ubi might actually have something on their hands here.
yeah, I
so.
mean, especially if this scales well to the multiplayer side of
Mm-hmm.
it, where it actually makes for interesting
Well, yeah,
multiplayer like sword combat.
Yeah, because if you're both really good players, imagine having like a legit good
yeah,
duel
it could,
like
it could
that.
go on for
a
a
few
while,
minutes, you
yeah.
know, Yeah.
yeah. So I'm definitely keeping my eye on that.
for sure.
So let's talk a little bit about Prey.
A little bit we saw.
We're gonna jump over to Bethesda. Bethesda had a couple of announcements. They had their Skyrim remaster. Great.
Yay!
Woo. I would have liked the
Get ready
older
to-
game.
Get ready to use that share button,
Yeah.
guys.
It looks basically like Skyrim with a bunch of EMB mods installed on it, which
Well,
if you're
maybe
on
it'll-
PC, you know what I'm talking about.
Maybe it'll run. Yeah, see, PC guys have already been spoiled with Skyrim for a while.
Yeah.
Like this is basically the consoles getting the PC version finally, I guess. You know,
So we'll see how that pans out.
maybe it'll actually run better this time though.
But the most
we'll see.
interesting announcement, at least I think for us anyway,
Yeah.
was the announcement
Prey.
of Prey, which is not a sequel to the original Prey, which came out a while ago.
Well, like
Um,
08 maybe,
yeah.
09, something like that.
This seems like they're going in a different direction with it. It's more of like a psychological first-person action game.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's still action-based, and you're still going to be like having weapons and stuff like that. But it's like this futuristic setting where you're on this seems like a space station,
Yep.
and shit's going wrong. I don't know. It was
Yeah, it was just a
there's
trailer,
some
right?
cryptic, yeah,
Yeah.
there was some cryptic stuff to the trailer, but it's exciting to see them bring Prey back.
Yeah, because
Because-
I feel like that was one of those wishes from fans, but they
Yeah.
were like, it's probably not going to happen ever. you
Yeah,
know?
because they showed this really cool Prey 2
yeah, that's what
promotion
it
at
was.
some point, and it was really awesome. Like, it
Yeah.
looked like you were going to be like this interstellar bounty hunter going after these guys in these futuristic cities and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and then nothing.
Nothing ever occurred,
Nothing
yeah.
ever came of it. And so bringing it back was like kind of like at least something's going on. It's a cool name. I like the name Prey.
Yeah,
I see why they wanted to keep it around.
definitely.
So Bethesda, they also announced Quake Champions,
Yay.
which, whatever. I don't know. It doesn't look anything that I
Well,
understood. It looks like
at least it's being developed by id.
Yeah.
So at least you know you're going to get that core Quake gameplay, hopefully.
Yeah. So this seems to be why Doom didn't ship with like a id developed big multiplayer
right.
kind of thing.
It's like you guys are going to do some
'Cause-
Quake.
because they were focusing on Quake.
It's not that awesome Quake single player we were hoping for, but
Yeah. It looks like it's going to be like a PC first person shooter multiplayer
Yeah.
thing with heroes and stuff like that. Well, we'll see how it pans out, but
yeah.
not quite what I was looking for in a Quake sequel. And then we're gonna move on quickly.
Yeah.
Talk about EA because they didn't talk about Mass Effect. So as far as I'm concerned, they could have just fucked right off.
Whoa. I think that was the general consensus.
Yeah.
Like, legit, like, most media has called EA's conference a pure disaster.
Yeah. Titanfall 2 they talked about, which was cool.
Yeah.
I think that game looks real cool.
Did they show any single player?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah. I don't know if they showed any single player or actual gameplay, but they went into what the single player is going to be about.
Yep.
And apparently you play as a mech.
Really?
Yeah. You're. By the way, it's described that you're actually playing as a mech, and you're going to have like to focus on like protecting your pilot and stuff like that.
Oh,
so
okay.
it looks like they're at least doing something cool with it.
Yeah.
Um,
Instead of just the average, you're a guy and
yeah. At least that's what I got from the trailer. I could be completely wrong about that,
Yeah.
but that's the vibe I was getting.
Yeah, at least
But-
it has a single player.
So they're with the multiplayer. They're 6 brand new mechs. There's going to
Yep.
be 6 mechs, and they're all going to be unique. They got rid of all of the 3 mechs from the original release, and you got a grappling hook now, which looks pretty cool, and it looks like they're just taking what made that multiplayer unique and great and just expanding upon it. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, hopefully the transition to multiplat doesn't hurt the overall flow of the multiplayer. Because
Yeah.
I've always heard like Titanfall had some of the most secure because it was on dedicated servers.
Yeah.
Multiplayer. So
We'll see if like it's still dedicated servers for Microsoft if they get that or what the deal is. Who knows?
and of course,
And
last but not least,
within a week, you're also going to get Battlefield 1.
what comes out first?
I think it's Battlefield 1.
Oh, well,
I
I would imagine overall Battlefield's the more popular IP. So
Yeah, I don't know.
Possibly.
We'll see.
I mean, it is.
No,
it
I'm
is
wrong. I'm
Battlefield.
wrong. Titanfall 2 comes out
okay,
October 21st, and Battlefield 1 comes out October 28th.
that makes more sense. Yeah,
I believe both are Fridays, which is interesting.
that is weird.
So
So-
yeah, they're coming out. EA's 2 big first-person shooter multiplayer shooters are coming out within a week of each other.
See, the only thing like, at least they're both very different.
Oh, they're extremely different.
So
yeah.
like, I feel like they both have their own unique fan base. So I don't know if one's really gonna cancel the other out necessarily, but still a
No.
week in between is a little weird.
I mean, like I'm interested in the Battlefield 1 single player.
Yeah.
Like I think that could tell a cool story, but I'm way more interested in the Titanfall multiplayer.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because
that
I
was one
played
of
the
your
first
favorite.
one
Yeah.
and it was really great. So, yeah, the fact that Titanfall 2 now has some sort of single player component to
Yep.
it, that's the game that's going to get
That's
my
a
money.
huge thing.
Yeah, that's a game that's going to get my money as opposed to Battlefield where maybe I'll rent it or I'll see like get it on sale or something if it lowers in price
Well,
or
I
something
mean,
like that.
because if all you're interested in is the campaign, you probably could rent it for like a weekend and finish the
Yeah.
campaign. Whatever.
Yeah, the multiplayer didn't really do anything for me. They had a big live stream thing, and
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg was there smoking pot, and Zac Efron and Jamie Foxx were there previously smoking pot.
So, and they were all acting like they knew what was going on, even though none of these guys
Yeah,
probably
no one
game.
knew what was going on. There's some pretty funny pictures out there of Zac Efron just like staring class-eyed at the screen, just like staring at it. Pretty good
Nice.
stuff. Yeah, so Drew, you're a little bit excited for Battlefield 1, right?
Yeah,
You
no,
know,
I'm
the setting pretty much.
I'm looking,
probably.
yeah, because you don't normally see World War One used. I know they're not going for a straight like, they're not going with events that actually occurred necessarily. They're going for like a fictionalized story.
Yeah.
But it's going to be in World War
Oh,
One
that's too
setting.
bad. I would have preferred some a
real-
slight bit of realism to it. You know.
Well, I mean, it's probably gonna. I know all the weapons are gonna be really what was used back then, and I believe you're gonna be a black character in that one as well. So
Yeah. At least that's
that's another different perspective too. I don't know, man. Like, I'm definitely like intrigued by the whole thing. I mean, I would definitely buy both of these over Infinite Warfare.
oh man. And any goodwill that game had with me fell out the window during that gameplay demo.
Yeah.
Like it was cool. It was like in the spaceship. It's like, oh, it looks like they're doing something different. And then they got out of the ship and it was Call of Duty gameplay.
Yeah, in
And-
space.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know, man. It was a good
I-
E3 overall, though. Like, for sure.
Yeah, it is okay.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been better. We didn't get some of our wishes. I
No
didn't
Red
even
Dead.
get my
It's-
Shenmue 3 update.
Yeah, no Shenmue 3, no Final Fantasy
7
7
remake.
remake.
No.
No
Yeah.
Red Dead.
No Red Dead 2. See, I feel like Rockstar is just gonna like they don't care, dude. They're not gonna. They don't need an event. Like they
No.
could just announce it, like just randomly, like hey, whatever.
Here, we're gonna give you this game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and everyone will eat it up. So
Yeah, the Mass Effect information was extremely disappointing.
yep.
Just like dev videos and stuff. There's a little bit that could be considered gameplay in it, but it wasn't anywhere near what I feel they needed to show for that game.
Yeah.
Because this is supposedly the last E3 before that game comes out. So I'm very concerned about where that game is, how far along it is on its trajectory, and where it's heading.
My little prediction: it's gonna launch with the Scorpio. There we go.
Oh, okay.
We'll
It's gonna be a
see.
bundle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You never know, man. That's just where it seems to be heading since we haven't seen crap for gameplay. You guys, we don't know like who our player character is going to be. We don't know much about it.
No.
So.
All right. I think we've talked enough about
yeah,
E3.
we talk a lot, man. Ugh.
We've only talked for a minute.
All right. Well, that's gonna do it for our post E3 wrap up here. It was a pretty good E3.
Oh yeah, no, it was pretty good.
Oh,
A
absolutely.
little disappointing, but
Yeah, there was some notable omissions,
but we
uh,
also got some surprises too. So
Yeah, I mean, probably one of the bigger surprises is like we could be talking about a completely new approach to console generations.
yeah, for real. Because now it's a real thing. Before it was all speculation.
Yeah.
Now we know for a fact that
Something's happening.
something is
Whether
going
it
on.
pans out or not, we'll
Yeah.
see. But something is definitely happening. And for better or worse, this was the E3 that it happened at,
Yeah, it was.
or was announced at least.
Yeah, Phil Spencer.
So yeah, we'll be back later with our traditional format,
Yeah.
talking about games we're playing.
Oh yeah.
But this was the biggest week in video games, so we had to do
Oh, yeah.
something special about it.
We had to.
Had to be done.
Yeah, and
so-
there's been a lot of releases lately too. So we've been talking about a lot of current stuff recently, like Uncharted and
yeah.
some other stuff. So now we can kind of get back. Things have slowed down a little bit. We can get back to what we normally do.
Yep.
So
So we'll be back next time with another great episode of the Mega Gamecast. Thanks, guys, for chatting with me.
we'll see you on episode 30.
Yeah, big episode 30.
Catch you there.